First of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank you sincerely, and getting that on camera means a lot to me, because personally I have to thank you, because I draw personal inspiration every day to do this work in growing sense in relationship to somebody like you. So let me say that. I thank you so sincerely.
Well, thanks for saying that. I'm happy to be helping out.
Yeah. And I think it's important for you to know that what we're hoping to have you share is that you're willing to help out and you're willing to lend voice to. And so thank you for taking time today, because today who you're speaking to by virtue of this interview with me is the Attorney General's National Youth Violence Prevention Forum, a summit that brings together 10 cities, now 11 including Seattle, convening folks around this issue, the top stakeholders, the grassroots and on-the-ground people coming together to actually resolve this issue in their cities. So thank you for taking time to
we need to do
shout out to
big.
those folks. Yeah,
that's
like
great.
It's
the right place to go.
Right. So it's important for all of us to know, and why you're here and sharing this with us, it's really important for us to know really why it is that you do this, why you invest your personal time, why you are willing to put your name, why you're willing to put your personal energy. And we know you're coaching football, and we know you're deep in the season now and things are really taking off, but why do you spend your personal energy, your personal time, and dedicate your passion to this cause of ending youth violence?
It's a pretty simple answer. It's simple that after being made aware that there was big issues, which I knew nothing about at the time until I did become aware, we had to do something. There's too many kids that are in troubled situations and not having the kinds of life opportunities that they are worthy of deserving. And so as I learned more and got more connected to what's going on in the community and the lives of the kids and how they affected the families and other kids and all of that, we needed to do something. And I've been inspired by the opportunity to help some young people get a chance at life like they deserve. And so we kept running into kids that kept saying stuff like, I'm either going to die or I'm going to go to jail, so what the heck, and that was the vision that I later learned that they held for themselves, and they didn't have a chance. You're going to go what you envision yourself to become, and so we need to bring some kind of a message of hope and some support and give them a chance to have the big time prosperous opportunities that they just so obviously deserve.
So how did you do that?
Well, we just started the conversation and said we're going to have a get together, and people from all over Los Angeles came together, and the mayor came, and the sheriff came, and the chief of police sent somebody, and we had Maxine Waters and representatives of the political world, the community-based organizations. A lot of people showed up, and I was impressed by the fact that we could convene, and from there we just started a conversation and started to learn what was going on, and really, I was fortunate that some terrific young people from the area grabbed me and put me in the car and drove me around and let me see what was happening and introduced me into the life and the world of it, so that I could have a chance to speak on behalf. I can't say I didn't live there. I didn't grow up there. I know nothing about that. I can see that there's a tremendous need, and if somebody in my position can have an effect through convening, facilitating, pulling some strings, kicking some people in the butt, whatever it takes, I was going to do it. And so we got really involved, and we got deeply involved, and it became more important. And now we realize that we have solutions, and we can solve these problems, and it's right there in front of us. We just need some help. And
what you convened in Los Angeles resulted in becoming a program, a product, and employing outreach workers?
We later turned into a foundation called A Better LA, a nonprofit. And we wanted to support the men and women that were doing the work in the community, that were actually donating their time to try to help kids go in the right direction. And they were, the intervention workers there, outreach workers as we refer to them now. These were people that were really just offering their time up because they'd lived the life and they knew what had happened to them, and they knew the life that it was leading towards for other people, and their heart turned. And in that turning, they were willing to give back everything just to help a young person make it. And I early on recognized that those were the guys that were the MVPs in the neighborhood. They were the ones that were really valuable. They were the ones that could make things happen that nobody else could do. And I found that nobody was supporting them collectively. And so we started to raise money just to pay for those guys to do the work. And we wanted to create a model of how this could be done, where you could save communities from the terror of the gang involvement, and not just, of course, the murders and things, but just the other related violent crimes and things and the fear that was in the neighborhoods. And we found out that we could do that. We could fix it. We could change it. And it wasn't a rocket science. It was a model of putting the proper people in place and supporting them properly, where they could see things coming before it happened. They could stand up for the right versus the wrong, and they could actually connect all of the other aspects of the support from law enforcement and the other organizations around to the community where they couldn't get in any other way. And I found that one of the most valuable relationships was law enforcement to the outreach workers, and building a level of respect where they could learn to operate in conjunction to solve the same issues. And that was not easy. That was a very difficult connection to be made, but with some great help from Lee Baca, the sheriff down in Los Angeles, and his people, and also now Charlie Beck in LAPD. Those guys allowed us to keep talking to the knucklehead kids, and then also connect the intervention workers with the officers, and really initiate a dialogue that became a common language. And that's where we found really the power, was creating a language that we could share, and that we could operate and start to function in conjunction rather than at odds. It was really hard for the officers because they were chasing around the same guys that were now giving them the information and helping them out. And that was a natural, logical problem, but through time and dialogue and openness and willingness, we kept the guys who were really fighting it down, and we started to create some inroads, and things have totally changed, and we think we have a real way into solving some of these problems.
And that was in LA, and that was around where your life was there and the people you knew there, but then you came here and you didn't have to necessarily carry that forward. So what inspired you also to continue to bring that work here?
I thought when we came here that eventually somebody would knock on the door or tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, we did something down in LA, and sure enough it happened, and we were lucky to find you and the Live and Free program and all the things that you were doing. We connected with the sheriff and the chief of police, and before you know it, everybody was talking about it. It was almost effortless. It happened just so easily, and this community was such a great model because it was close-knit enough that we could really touch all facets of it. It's a monstrous problem in LA. Here it was manageable more so, and we've made tremendous headway with involving the Seahawks, which I think was a really exciting thing to do, involving the YMCA as an institutional organization that is really exciting to do, and also to reach into the private community and as well as the corporate community to get engaged in this issue, and with some really good fortune and some extraordinary people and your help, we were able to really make inroads, and I think we've created a model that easily can be replicated in other areas.
And we're really proud that vision of convening people has also not just resulted in Seattle, but 6 cities in this region. And we're invited to the National Forum because they are proud that this energy, this effort has contributed to that kind of convening that across jurisdictions, across funding categories, all these different, this kind of convening, and it's really high level and really the championship that's necessary for the cause.
The thing that's been exciting to me is to see that the same kind of approach that we use in coaching a football team or running a business relates to in the community, in this sense that we're trying to help everybody be the best they can be. And what does it take to get that done? You need to learn about the person, you need to care about them, you need to look after them and help them find their way. And in that, it's a simple one-to-one. It's really one person at a time that we change, and that's why the workers are so valuable to us, because they're looking at kids right between the eyes and talking right to them and helping them understand and relate to their issues. And we can help people be what they're capable of being. It's the same way of coaching Russell Wilson as it is coaching the kids in the street in that sense. And I think that what's exciting about that, it's not hard to understand how it works. You just need people that really care.
And you really care, and we're really lucky. We really are lucky to have a high-level champion and somebody who can speak from a platform, Seahawks team, NFL team. Now that you see this potential to convene, you've gone from one city to another and you've seen its potential, given the high-level cross-jurisdiction work, the philanthropic community, the corporate donors, all this different mix that's coming around the work now, do you see a vision that this can become a national model?
There's no question. There's no question. I mean, if I gave you the grand picture of it, I wish we could create a Peace Corps of workers in the communities. I wish we could find our way to fund the people in the communities, and it doesn't take that many. They have a tremendous scope. 1 and 2 and 3 people in the areas in Los Angeles and here in Seattle can do so much work if they're sponsored properly, mentored well, prepared well, and then supported. They'll be extraordinarily effective. And people won't kill each other anymore, and kids will get a chance to go to school, and they won't be scared to death on their way home, and they can live a life that they deserve to live. This is not outside of our scope. It's not even going to cost that much money, and we're going to save a fortune of money. And I know this is a grim way of looking at it, but in Los Angeles, there was tremendous work done to validate what it costs to process a gang murder. Yeah. And it's over $1 million a person.
Yep.
Well, let us put workers in the fields that can save those kids' lives, and also turn that kind of expenditures back into the community in the ways where eventually the work it'll transition into a whole different realm. But now it needs to stop the violence and keep it safe and let the community start to prosper like they deserve to.
And for your consideration, that $1 million, which is a fair estimate probably nationally, I think all of our cities experience something like that. And for a scale point of view, it costs about $1,200 for an outreach worker to spend a year with a kid. And just to your point, to that analogy, that we are saving people's lives and we're saving people's dollars and we're reinvesting in the areas that we build them to their fullest potential, which is really exciting. Can I ask you, these forum cities, they are a team. They're a team of people, and we convene together. We're coming together now to work on this. And as a coach, is there anything that you could say to us as a team of people who are dedicated to this in all these cities around the country? Just any last words or any thoughts or inspiration that you would call us to action or offer?
I would really hope that you would believe how powerful you are. And the power of these workers, every single person has such tremendous power in themselves to help others do well and do right. It isn't an insurmountable problem. It's a problem that can be dealt with. And the cool thing is it's just done one-to-one. And it's done because you care. And you need to listen a lot. We need to understand the issues and the problems and then be there and support. We don't have to even do it ourselves. We just need to be there to help the young people do this. And in that regard, this absolutely will change. It will heal the issued areas in quick order. It's been 10 years in Los Angeles, and there's hundreds and hundreds of kids that are alive now because of the work we've done. Millions of dollars have been saved down there because of the work we've done, and we haven't even scratched the surface of the scope. So we're going to put a lot of people to work by doing this too, and they're going to have lives, and they're going to be prospering, and they're going to add to so many people's lives, and there's no telling all of how that blossoms out and geometrically progresses out for good and wonderful things. So this is something we can do. I don't give you of course we can do this. We just need a little bit of help right now, and I think it'll have a tremendous effect. Not just for it'll be way bigger than that. The messaging of caring for people and looking after them and helping them become the best they can be. That is, it's just gonna filter into so many different areas, and it's gonna be an amazing effect.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your dedication. On behalf of the young people all over the country, that you put this energy out for, because it's touching lives across the country. Thank you for keeping them alive and free.
You got it. We'll be there for you.